Okay, so we'll begin this course by getting 10 lines. The first line is the top line, which is 1 inch from the edge of the paper. You can see I'm marking 1 inch from the edge of the paper. Now, if you notice, I marked 1 inch at the extreme and marked the second inch at the other extreme. This is to get a straight line. So you can see I'm placing my line, my ruler across and connecting both lines in a straight line. Then I proceed to get the other 10 lines. So there's line 1, line 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And I proceed to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then I begin to connect. Remember, you're doing this on either side to make sure you get a straight line. If you did it right in the center, that's if you marked your 1 inch right in the center, you're not sure. I mean, you're a human, you can make mistakes. You're not sure the lines will be straight, so you measure at both ends to get a straight line. So right now I'm on the 4th line. Fifth line, sixth line, seventh, eighth, and finally, okay, no. This is my 8th line. And then finally the 9th line. Right. So now I'm proceeding to get a center line. Now the way you get your center line is you find the width of the paper. You find the width of the paper, you find the center point, mark it at one end, go to the opposite end, that's on the last line, mark the center point. So if the width of your paper is 8 inches, half of that is 4, so you'd mark that, and now I'm connecting in a straight line. I'm connecting both in a straight line to ensure I did it at the opposite ends because I want to make sure that both lines, I want to ensure that I'm getting a straight line. So I label the very first line, the top line, and then I proceed to label the second. So you have line 1, chin, line 2, bust, line 3, waist, line 4, hips, line 5, thighs, line 6, knees, line 7, calves, line 8, ankles, finally the 9th line, toes. Now all of these were done in inches, and we proceed to draw the body, which is in centimeters. We'll start with the head. Now to get the head, you have to locate a center line right in the middle, that's between the top line and line 1. Locate a center line which is half an inch down, and just draw a short arbitrary line through that center line. Then you move on to line 1. From the center line, you measure half a centimeter and mark half a centimeter and mark on either side. Then you move on to the center line that you got, mark 1 centimeter on either side, and move on to the top line and mark 1 centimeter on either side. Then you connect these points that you have gotten in a circle to construct the head. So you can see I am connecting these points in a circle to draw the heads. Now, it's okay if you go a bit above the top line and a bit below line 1, because you're getting an oval head. It can't be flat at the top and flat on the chin. So I'm spinning the paper around to make sure that I'm getting a perfect oval. Now for beginners, there it is, a perfect oval. For beginners, it's a bit difficult, so don't put too much pressure on yourself. Whatever the shape is, just connect as best as you can. Now I'm proceeding to draw the neck. The height of the neck is 1 centimeter from line 1. That's the height of the neck. I'm filling in the dimensions for reference purposes. So you have 1 centimeter as the height of the neck, and I proceed to draw the shoulder. The shoulder is 2 cm from the neck point. 2 cm from the neck point. Make sure you label 2 cm from the neck points. I go the other way, that's the opposite, the second shoulder, 2 cm from the neck point. Okay, now proceed to get the waist. The waist is 1.5 cm from the center line. 1.5 cm from the center line. So on the opposite side, 1.5 cm. So 1.5 and 1.5 makes 3. However, if you decide that you want a slimmer waist, you can do 1 cm. 1 cm will give you a slimmer waist and a more curvaceous figure. So 1 cm on either side to get a slimmer waist and a more curvaceous figure. So I'm connecting the waist points to the shoulder points in a straight line. Waist points to shoulder points in a straight line. Remember to write your dimensions in there, 1 cm, 1 cm. And then we proceed to the hips. Now the hips are 2.5 centimeters from the center line. 2.5 centimeters from the center line. So connect the waist point to the hip point in a straight line. Make sure you remember to write your dimensions in there, 2.5 cm on either side. Then connect the waist point to the hip point in a straight line. There you go. Waist point to hip point in a straight line. Then you move on to the thighs. Now everything beneath or after the hip point will be reduced by 0.5 cm. So the thighs are 2 centimeters from the center line. Two centimeters from the center line. So everything after the thighs is reduced by 0.5 cm. So this will now be 1.5 cm from the center line. We're on line 6, those are the knees, so 1.5 cm. For the calves, 1 cm, remember, is reduced by 0.5 cm for the calves. So remember to write your dimensions in there, 1.5 cm for line 6. cm for line 7 and 0.5 cm for line 8, which are the calves. Remember to write your dimensions in there for reference purposes. Now connect all these points that you've measured in a straight line. This represents the legs of the figure. Connect these points in a straight line. Then we proceed to draw the feet. From line 8 on the center line, the feet are 1.5 centimeters down and 1 cm in width. Did you see the short line I drew through? So that forms the base of the toes. So 1 centimeter in width. Then you connect from the ankles to the toes in. So we proceed to draw the hands. Now to get the hands usually lie in between line 4 and line 5, which is in between the hips and thighs. To position the hands, we move 1/2 inch down from line 4, 1/2 inch down. Do it on both sides to make sure you get a straight line. Then you connect, missing out the body. On the line that you have just drawn, you measure a distance 3 cm from the leg outwards. 3 cm from the thighs outwards. Make sure you write down the dimensions for reference purposes. Now the length of the arm is 8 cm. You're going to measure 8 cm in such a way that it aligns with the 3 cm mark that you got before. So we have our 8 cm. You connect to the shoulder points. Do it on the other side. 8 cm. Mark it. Connect to the shoulder points. Now the depth of the armhole is 2 cm from the shoulder points. So you mark your 2 cm. Make sure you write down your dimensions for reference purposes. 2 cm. And then the width of the wrists is 0.3 cm. So you have 0, 1, 2, 3. 0.3 cm. Zero, 1, 2, 3. 3 cm, 0.3 cm, and then you connect from the armpits to the wrists. From the armpits to the wrist. Then we proceed to draw the hands. The hands, you come down 1 inch straight, 1 cm straight, and then 1/2 cm at a slight angle, usually a little less than the 45-degree angle, 0.5 cm at a slight angle. Then for the thumb, 0.5 cm at a slight angle. Do that for the second hand. 1 cm straight down, 1/2 cm or 0.5 cm at a slight angle. .5 cm at a slight angle. And so there we have the angular figure.